In Delhi NCR now. I'm in Gurgaon.
Lovely. I think we have a mix of panel here. We have people from Delhi, we have Mr. Manoj from Ahmedabad, and Dr. Parul joining us from Indonesia, all the way from Indonesia.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting.
Fantastic to have you all here. Um, I think I'll just check with the team. We're live. Fantastic. So I'd say that let's begin. Today we'll be talking about how to grow, build, and retain your blue collar employees. How to find the right balance to sort of create a stronger workforce and drive the organization to success. 70% of India's growth would be driven by blue collar jobs, as per an Economic Times report that came out very recently by 2030. So before we begin and before we sort of start off, I would like to also ask the audience where they're joining us from. We have a poll that we're launching for the same. Would request the team to share it across. And while we sort of have answers coming in, I'd like to touch upon how generally wellness programs and policies focus on the idea that information equals execution. But sort of circling back to what we were discussing previously as well, while this looks good on paper, all of this takes a lot of effort and combined effort of a lot of different teams who come together and make this happen. Handling something like this sort of gets compounded while dealing with a blue collar workforce. I feel that if organizational success and driving that with a white collar workforce is like a T20 match, I feel that the same with a blue collar workforce is like playing World Cup because it's so challenging. These people are not that well educated. They lack a lot of skill set. Along with that, the attrition rates here are very high, and these people have rotational shifts. So to bind them all together and make them work cohesively under one roof is, I feel, some of the most challenging tasks in my opinion. But today we have the experts here to help us cover some effective strategies to manage them better and lead them. On this note, without further ado, let me introduce you to the panelists. The first panelist that we have here is Mr. Praveen. He is the VP and Group CHRO at Vedanta Group. He specializes in leadership and talent management, employee experience, and digital transformation. With over 20 years of experience, he drives key HR initiatives and has nurtured a robust pipeline of internal leaders. Pleasure to have you with us, Mr. Praveen. So the second panelist that we have is Mr. Manoj. He has over 19 years of experience in human resources, employee relations, and administration. He's worked with industry giants like Bharti Airtel, Tata Communications, and is currently leading manufacturing and administration for Tata Chemicals. Glad to have you with us, Mr. Manoj.
Thank you.
The third panelist that we have here with us is Dr. Parul. So Dr. Parul brings a wealth of expertise with 16 years in medicine and 11 years in occupational health. Her focused approach on women's mental and physical health, alongside her dedication to create inclusive workspaces, makes her an invaluable voice for our discussion. It's an honor to have all of you here with us today. I think in this room we have a combined experience of more than 55 years. So I'm sure the audience is geared up for a very valuable and a very engaging session. For the benefit of the guests, I'll just introduce the format. So we have a panel discussion for 45 minutes where I have a bunch of questions for the experts to address. This will be followed by 15 minutes of Q&A from the audience. You can drop in your comments in the chat box. Along with this, we even have a surprise for the audience at the end, so stay tuned. And on this note, let's get started. So what I'd love to ask as my first question, and what the audience obviously wants to know from all of you here as well, is if you could share outside of work, who are you as individuals? What do you enjoy doing? And anyone can go first. It's addressed to all of you all here. Mr. Manoj, would you like to start?
Yeah, I would like to start then. In fact, as an individual, I would like to play volleyball, and I'm an athlete, so I enjoy marathon running.
Oh, that's lovely. That's fantastic. Marathon running requires a lot of discipline. I've been trying to get into it myself, but it's a long road ahead. I can say that for sure. That sounds fantastic. Dr. Parul, would you like to go next?
Yeah, as an individual, I'm a traveler, as evident. Yeah. So, and of course, I'm a dancer. So these two things gives me happiness. Yes.
Super. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yes. So Simran, I think out of syllabus question on the spot, but yes, that was not part of the agenda what was circulated. But yes, I think as an individual, there are a lot of hobbies I do have even on the sports side. But for time being, reading books is something which I am enjoying, and I'm reading 3 4 books together, and that's something it's helping. It's an amazing learning session so far.
It's lovely. Would you like to share a specific book that you're currently fascinated by?
Very interesting. So maybe it's an autobiography of Osho, which currently I'm reading, and I'm amazed with the way he created a very different path for himself, and an amazing thinker. A man of logic, known to be a kind of father of logics. So something very interesting. While we all know him for many spiritually incorrect, the mistakes, but then amazing. So I've just started, but it's super.
That's lovely. That's great. I think he was way ahead of its time. He had a lot of thoughts that can actually benefit mankind in terms of
Yes,
awareness, taking
yes.
charge of your own health in ways. Great, fantastic. Okay. So now, while I know this was off the agenda, the goal was to just get some impromptu responses from you all, so we could get to know you all a little better. Now, before we dive into the main questions, I want to ask the audience what is their biggest priority or sort of problem area for the HR leaders. Here, we have a poll for the audience. Team would request you to launch the same. Just a second. Are we live with the poll? Just a second, facing some technical glitches here, which is sort of bound to happen. I think I've done multiple rounds of checks with the panelists also for the same, but and thank you so much for your patience before as well.
So welcome to the digital world.
True. Okay. So while that sort of happens, I'd suggest that let's begin. And my first question is, so when workers join an organization, they struggle to adapt to industry settings. So beyond machine training, how can we help them integrate smoothly into the workforce? Mr. Praveen, would you like to start?
Yes, sure, Simran. No, first of all, I think before I get into the question what you have asked, Simran, this topic is very close to my heart. And I come from a manufacturing setup where 80% of the workforce, they come from blue collar, so-called blue collar, although we don't use this terminology. In industrial parlance, we generally use contract and contractors as a kind of terminology. But in Vedanta, if you ask me, we call them as a business partner, and they constitute about 80% of our workforce. I'm just trying to give a kind of background why business partner or contract or blue collar employees are very vital to the entire business agenda for us. We strongly feel that if we take care or if we focus on this 80% of population which is driving your entire business plan, I think rest of the things are taken care. And while we as a kind of direct employees, we just constitute 20%, but the ground reality, the outcome comes from the people those who are working on shop floor, and they are the one who drive the entire, the way I said, the vision of the organization.
True.
On question, Simran, I think maybe my way of looking at things are a bit different. The world has changed. Maybe this is terminology or categorization is something we are still using, but the progressive companies have come very far to my mind. And currently, the focus is irrespective of any category you want to put them, whether you call them blue collar, white collar, ये पुराने जमाने की बातें हो गई है, but still I know, and we will talk more about it. Still, it exists, but progressive companies have started realizing it's all about performance at the end of the day, how people are adding value to the productivity and the bottom line of the organization. And that's the reason for us, I'm representing 10 large businesses of Vedanta Group. There are about 50, 60, 70 locations from small to the large size. And and for us, business partners are most critical. And and they are the one who are helping us drive, $1 billion of the capex and the project what we have in the pipeline. They are the reason behind the various operational excellence and the plan what you put together for your investors. um, and I can keep talking about variety of important things like how they are adding value in terms of the ESG, most important, which the outer world is looking forward to. And still, yes, many companies are yet to catch up, and I still see, um, probably we would be lacking in a lot of terms, in terms of the skills or in terms of the infrastructure, so on and so forth. But to my mind, especially in Vedanta parlance, if you ask me, for us, they are core part of the entire ecosystem. And we invest a lot in terms of ensuring that whatever we do for our regular workforce, so to say, they are the one equally applicable and equal partner in the entire journey. And earlier was a time जहाँ पे हम सेफ्टी और उसकी बात बहुत करते थे कि सेफ्टी होनी चाहिए और बेसिक्स होना चाहिए, बात हो गई. But now it's about how do you ensure that they are equipped in terms of digital, they are equipped in terms of managing the technology, because many of your operations, they are all automatic, they are all digitally driven. And the people, those who are working on ground, they need to understand and appreciate. अगर वो ही नहीं समझेंगे तो उसको आगे कौन चलाएगा? And I have personally seen, we have seen that a lot of value comes from them. They are the backbone, they are the epitome of ideas and suggestions, and a lot of value has come through all those people, and we will talk about some of the example as we progress. But just to cut it short, and while I pass it on to my other panel colleague, for me, uh, I have spent, my business has spent about billions of dollars in terms of the project and operation, and we continue to do so. And a lot of accountability and responsibility is on so-called blue-collar employee. What we are talking about, they are the business partner for us who are helping us drive the entire agenda. So that's the kind of the context which I want to lay out. Simran, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brain. I think you've summed it very well. Earlier, the focus was just to ensure basics were taken care of, but now a lot of attention is paid towards them. In fact, we were just discussing with Dr. Parul and Mr. Manoj that the nomenclature needs to go. There's still a lot of time for the progressiveness to come in, but it's great to see that Vedanta is actually acknowledging the people that do so much for them in such a high regard. That sounds fantastic.
Yes.
Anyone
It's
else?
all mindset. It's all mindset, Simran. It's all in the mind. And we are the one who would have probably created this terminology long back, and still we are continuing. But if that is so, then I have many other categories. And I think we are HR folks here. We all know that you can put them into diversity agenda. You can put people in the expat and specialist. You can call them blue collar, white collar, yellow, green, जो भी बोलना है बोलेंगे. But bottom line is, end of the day, everybody is here for a purpose, and we need to understand that it's a performance, and we need to deliver to the business objective.
True, very true. Anyone else would like to add something?
Yeah, I totally agree with Praveen. Two major things which he highlighted. One is ESG. Of course, I mean, it started from top to bottom, but it cannot be driven without the major workforce. If they will not contribute, it is really impossible. Second, of course, most of the companies, most of the good companies, they have started, now changing these narratives, but it still exists for two things. One, there's a positive thing towards it, and there's a negative. Negative is that we are still categorizing, but sometimes you need to categorize so that you can give a little more focus on them. So that's a positive way of categorizing them. So we tell a person with disability or a person who is blue collared. So there are various things why we are telling them, why we are narrating this, so that we can give our more focus on them and make them a very inclusive part of the organization. So sometimes it is important, but yes,
Yes.
whenever we say categorization, it goes more towards the negative thing and not the positive aspect of it. So yeah, those are the two things I wanted to add.
Got it, Dr. Parul. That's a very great point. And just to add to that, it sort of makes me wonder. So what we've seen for some of our clients is that these blue collar workforce often comprises migrant workers from different states who are relocated from one part of the country to the other. So this might make them feel isolated. So how do you generally tackle this at your organization?
uh, Manoj, you want to say something,
No,
or
no, no. Good, good, good.
so I'll give my perspective as an occupational health physician. um, so I work very closely with HR. Basically, recruitment of blue collared in our organization is through employee resource management, not the per se by the core HR team. HR takes care of blue collared white collared ones. So employee OHC, occupational health department, is very much part of ERM, which is employee resource management. So
Hmm.
we are the part of the recruitment team. One. So we are the few initial people what the blue collared or white collar people are exposed to. So we kind of are the face of the organization. One. And the everyone in the organization is being sensitized that we are bringing the diverse workforce. And if you see Karnataka, my main plan is in Tamil Nadu, which is border of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu, Hosur it is.
Also,
So here, when we are talking about diversity or people coming from different parts of the planet, Karnataka itself is huge.
it's
So
huge.
at every step, you are having different dialects, different food habits, different culture. So, even in this very small area, if you just see Karnataka state, and if you are recruiting only from Karnataka state, we have a diverse workforce. I believe that as an occupational health physician, my observation, if you can address them in the language what they speak and you can offer them the food they eat, then the things are set. That's the level one of making anyone feel exclusive. And TVS stands for that. One, we all wear same workwear. It's not a uniform. It is a workwear representing that we are not same, but we are similar, and we have different
Hmm.
styles of uniform also as per exclusivity. Some women, they don't want to wear t-shirt, or some men are not comfortable with shirts. So we have varieties in that. One. Second, we all eat same food, so that is uniformity. Yes, right from the top management to everyone, we have same canteen, we all eat same food. But yes, because we have diverse workforce, so the menu is designed like that.
That's
So there's
right.
something related to cater to North Indian people or South Indian. So that is that's a very fine combination of uniformity, but diversity and catering to the
Diversity.
entire workforce.
But I
And
think
of
food is
course,
very important. Yes.
yeah, so that is one thing. And of course, medical services, all our doctors are there to make them feel safe. I think the next step after language and food is whether your health has been taken care by your organization or not, and not just employees, their families have been taken care by them or not. So we all, doctors and TVS tutors, knows all the languages. We know the exclusive language. We know what TVS stands for, what is our vision, and what DEI in TVS per se stands for. So, and we are 24 into 7, making, taking care of not just the employees, but their family also. So these are the major three things which, I mean, there are multiple things, but these are the major three things as a principle which TVS is doing constantly.
That sounds fantastic, Dr. Parul. And just sort of diving a bit deeper into this. So while all of this is taken care of, at times they might feel slightly disconnected from the workforce, which might make them discontinue. So how do you ensure clear communication channels and effective feedback systems for retention? Because attrition is again another big problem. So, Mr. Manoj, would you like to shed some light on this topic, that how you're dealing with this at Tata Chemicals?
Yeah. See, at Tata Chemicals, there are workforces which are from diverse location. We believe in hiring in freshers earlier I was sharing with you, our lateral hirings are very limited. Generally, we nurture from top and we put it into the top. So if you see from GET or from even there are cases where a draftman become an MD of the company. So these are histories, and these are this company has a history of 87, 88 years. So it's a well-established organization. Our attrition in blue collar is zero. We have very limited attrition, and that too only during superannuation. So that's the kind of atmosphere and culture we work on it. Coming to your question, how we ensure that they are not disconnected. See, there are various engagement mechanism. One is we have a township, so people are born and brought up in township culture. They might know there will be very much inclusive. People from various places celebrate various festivals. Let it be a family member or an employee. So we focus mostly on that culture. As Praveen and Parul has said in their earlier communication, that there is no blue collar or white collar in a developed organization. So we always believe it is one. So what is my shirt color or pattern is the same for the last employee of an Tata Chemicals wearing. So eating food, getting into various mechanism, the process, everything would be same. Yes, hierarchy and pay structure would be little bit different. Otherwise, things in developed organization would be more or less similar. People, we engage them in various activities. For example, there is a behavioral safety observation round. For every day, we go for a plant safety round. There is a committee prepared that comprise of all category of level of employees, including blue collar. So their points are being counted. They sit and present to the HR head and site head and the leadership team of the manufacturing unit. So they come in one platform. It's not that the that workman's voice is not being listened. So that is they have to present it and they have to give their feedback. What things can be better if we do like that. So that is a daily purpose. And if it happens daily, we ensure that we cover almost all the employees during a course of 1 year or 2 years time period. And it is a daily process. There are various committees where we engage employees. If in township there is cultural committees, sports committees. In plant there is canteen committee, works committee, where their voice is being registered and counted. Also to motivate them, their behavioral and functional trainings are being taken care of. For example, a welder will be given a welder certifications program. A driver will be given into defensive driving program. So there are various programs designed to cater their efficiency better. And if they are efficiently better, it will automatically give a growth part to their individual perspective. And secondary, the motive from companies, there would be always a safe working environment. There would be no cultural barriers, and the community where they are working would be at par at all levels. So that is the message what company is giving all about. There are again various other parameters where an individual blue collar work can contribute. For example, we push them to get into Prime Minister's award, Shram Award. In that, they have to showcase productivity. What best they as an individual have done to improve the productivity to cater to the organization, or what thing has they have brought up to the table in terms of safety parameters. So there are various parameters, and out of various industries and organization, the government picks one or two. So every year we are proud to say that we get some awards from the government authority. And that is because not we as a person who are doing, that is because the contribution is from the ground, from the shop floor. So it is not we pushing. We can give a helping hand to support them to put it to the government authority. But the data, the inputs are, and what differently they have done, they have to showcase it. I cannot showcase that. So that part is very interesting, and it is a learning for them as well as contribution to the organization and community as a whole. So that will keep them engaged as a individual. We do multiple things. We try to club their jobs. We ensure that they are being multitasked. We put them from salt. We are the leading salt manufacturer.
Yes.
What we all eat, Tata salt. So we put them from salt to soda ash to bicarb. So all these products, that is where they move from one plant to other plant to other, and they automatically get into the next level. That's why I said I don't hire laterals. I hire basic freshers. The ITI diploma from the diploma institutes, from the engineering institute. That's our foundation. One, our culture will be strong. Two, the learning culture will always be there from both sides. Developing culture from organization side and learning culture from the person who is joining in a sector like us, where people in today's world, people like to definitely join a company where uh, office is there, AC is there. For a manufacturing setup and a remote locations like us, it is very difficult to build, retain people there. So these are the facilities and these are the approach we take to ensure that employees are not disconnected.
Not disconnected. And I think I love how beautifully you've covered almost everything that it, which in a way summarizes that if you trust your employees, I think they will keep growing with you and they will find new ways to sort of contribute. As you mentioned about the Shram program, that government is doing a lot, but the fact that these employees are taking up ownership and taking up charge, that builds healthy competition, that builds an atmosphere of productivity and moves the needle for growth. In fact, one more thing that you beautifully covered was how you keep interchanging them with different plants, different kinds of products, so that helps them to grow and learn new things. Love that input from your end, Mr. Manoj.
Thank you,
So
Simon.
now, building on that idea, I think we've covered how we see it from a Tata Chemicals lens. I would also like to understand how, Mr. Praveen, you see this as part of Vedanta Group, which is a lot of employees don't see a clear career path when they just join in. So, how do you integrate them into the workforce and align them with the company's goals, and along with them directionally put them in places where they can challenge themselves and grow?
Okay. Simran, we lost you for a few seconds. Not sure if you are there.
Okay.
Can
Can you hear me
you hear
now?
us? Yeah,
I can
yeah,
hear you.
yeah.
Shall I repeat the question?
No, I understood. I understood. We just lost you for last few seconds, but otherwise, you talked about the perspective of Vedanta in addition to what Manoj talked about Tata, and also the career path point of view. But I just Manoj, the way you articulated and summarized it so beautifully, I think it covers the nutshell of any HR leader or the leader coming from manufacturing. Would talk the same thing, Simran, and I honestly I can't add much to what Manoj has added in terms of there are committees which are there where people are part of the decision making, and that's how they feel part of the integrated system. All in all, um, very important. How leaders are connected right from the top, and they consider them as part of the overall ecosystem. That also Manoj talked about very extensively. Maybe if I just need to add a couple of things, one which has really worked very beautifully for us, apart from ensuring that the infrastructure and everything is taken care, at par with all set of other employees. Um, I think making them participative in an incentive schemes, I think that plays a very big role. And we have seen whenever we have designed any program, our business partner employees, they have been at the center of the point in terms of ensuring that any development, any growth is linked to the incentive, and they are part of those overall program. And that's where you see the integration, the engagement much better when you have programs for them as well. And it feels like, as a one ecosystem all in all. And I think Manoj covered it beautifully. So just one incentive part which I wanted to add on career path. Maybe I think, Simran, if you ask based on my experience, yes, more work needs to be done, and I don't want to make it sound so goody goody for everything that everything is available for them. But I think as an organization, as an entire the gamut as a country, probably for this particular section, how do we work hand in hand with the contractor, the business partner, in ensuring that both of them, they collaborate together in terms of skill building with focus on technology. I think that's the career enhancement you can give it to your people, number one. And number two, yes, it's equally important how you elevate them from one level to the another. And yes, in Vedanta, I have seen many of the people, moving up the rank and taking up really the operations in charge, shift in charge kind of role. They move up the ladder. They joined as an individual, and then based on experience and then their own quality, they end up becoming the leader and manage the set of team for particular vertical, and they lead the entire show. So we have seen that kind of thing happening and people moving up the rank. But I think more than career, I think it's very important how do you make them better in terms of the skill sets, how you make them part of the overall program, and directly make them feel part of the decision making. That will be a very differentiating factor rather than directly looking at the top goal. Few things would sound very fancy that we want everything at one go. Not needed. Sometimes you just need to focus on basics and fundamental first, and how do you improve that, bit by bit. I think that will play very, very important role. In fact, I would have my own question. Leave apart the blue part, the blue collar employees. Do we have a better career path designed for own set of people? Even that's one of the area where lot can be done. So बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, practically, pragmatically speaking, there are opportunities available. And the best part, what I experienced, पहले नहीं होता था. Today you have the best of the consulting partner. There are best of the solutions which are available that can help you to reach that stage, and you just need to take help of those things. Raise your hand, take help of the experts which are available in the market, and that can actually help you to speed up the things and make things better from the process, system, career development, engagement, and all point of view. So that's the broad level things which comes to my mind. But by and large, what Manoj indicated from the pragmatic and the practical way, I think he covered a lot of things in that one question. So great. Thanks, Manoj, for that. And Simran, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Praveen. I think, as both of you all rightly said, just sort of trusting your people in a way to create internal leaders instead of hiring for the top level. That drives ownership, that drives success, that drives accountability. And I think that's what shapes the future of how the companies turn out. Because, Mr. Praveen, as you said before, 80% of the growth is the work is being done by these contract manufacturers. So that sort of I think this also comes from leadership. And I think that's what defines successful companies, because they trust their people. They give them the chance to showcase their potential despite not having the right skill sets to start off with initially. But as they climb up the ladder, giving them opportunities, giving them chances to try out different things, and then keep evolving.
Yeah.
And now I'd just like to sort of tap out a little bit. And I think, Mr. Praveen, as you previously said as well, in terms of sort of look at a macroeconomic situation. So, as per a recent article by Economic Times, 70% of growth for India for the next 4 years, 4 to 6 years, would be driven by blue collar jobs only, given the rise of so many industries which require these workforces. So, what role do you think technology can play here in sort of fast tracking this and making this idea happen at a ground reality? And this question is for all of you all. Would I think the audience would love to understand different perspectives coming in from different industries.
Maybe I will put it in a very summarized, very short way. I think technology can do wonders here. And when you have such a large scale in your organization, I think um, uh, technology and digital is the only medium which can help you to, scale up the things. And if you don't utilize that, I think you will be far behind, and you won't able to achieve the desired result what you need. So I think the way I just indicated in the previous question, I think you will have to take the help of the experts, and the solutions are available. Uh, and I strongly feel, um, and it's coming. Earlier we were seeing as part of the SAP Success Factor. Now there are various other platforms as well. There are a lot of boutique firms available which can help you in terms of streamlining the entire ecosystem of your business partners. So maybe take help of the best, and expedite, speed up whatever you want to do, and try to get value out of it. So that's how I will put it, and maybe I will pass it on to my other panelist.
See, I would like to add on this that totally, of
Maybe
course,
Dr.
Manoj
Parul,
covered. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
So, of course, that Manoj covered everything, and then Praveen was answering the another question, and the third question is on digitalization. I think all the three questions are interlinked. Digitalization, of course, plays a very important role, and of course, before this, we were talking, me, Manoj, and you, that on one hand, it is a very important tool and significant tool to have in today's world. We are in the era of reels, as we say. We don't have time for elaborate things, and we want
Short
quick
attention
solutions.
span, instant
But
gratification.
yeah, but the main challenge, because I deal with most of the blue collar when it comes to health, and the main challenge is that the tools what we are getting are very complicated. So again, when we are talking about digitalization, we can come back to the second question, which was on skill set. So this
Mhm.
also has to sit in that skill set for our blue collar employees, or for anyone, and forget about the collar, for each one of us, because it is so rapidly, it is
Evolving.
very fast nowadays. So again, the skill set and the digitalization goes hand in hand, and these two things, to expedite things, to fasten up the things, or to do it with speed and agility, we can come back to the question number one, which was how connected the employee or of any color feels with the organization, and that has to come from the top leader.
True.
So there's a very, very, when I joined TVS, I was very surprised. I'm here for the last 11 years. I was very surprised that every month CEO address blue collared employees in person, not online, not through notice, in person every month, meticulously, without fail. So this is the practice which I'm seeing for the last 11 years in the organization. It is right from the beginning. And that those addresses include all the new things we are doing, whether it is related to safety or health, any new benefits we are and of course the business. They are being given first hand information from CEO that this is where we stand today, we are in profit, or all these things. So that is how they feel connected. And once you feel connected, once you feel valued, you definitely, even if we have the policies in place to give them for their to improve their skill set, or for their better placements, they have to feel connected to accept that also, right? I will recommend they do this course, or you are good in this, but they have to really feel valued, heard, and connected with the organization to reach up to that thing. And another thing which TVS has done, we have an institution of quality and learning. It is our own learning center where we run small courses, certification courses or postgraduate courses, all these courses for executive managers and for our blue collared also. So but again, you can provide everything, but until unless they feel connected, so they will not even trust you that you are suggesting the right thing. So all the three things are connected. So even digitalization will be very well accepted. Of course, it is the need of the hour, and we need to focus on that. But it won't happen until unless right from the beginning, from sensitizing the union leaders and the leaders for the contractors, and of course making the tool very, very, very customer friendly. Otherwise, yes, like any other thing, it is another struggle for all of us.
Very true. But I think this simplification, and as we keep refining their skill set, this will sort of keep happening and keep improving as we keep progressing.
True.
That's Mr. Manoj, would you like to add something?
Yeah, in fact, digital is a boon and a disguise. The example recently we had of Microsoft failure. So, service industry got shut. Might be an aviation or a banking system. Uh, Production units, in fact, any manufacturing setup, it is a 24 by 7. So we cannot stop for a minute
Within five
and a half.
minutes.
It is a process driven organization. So you need digital, but at the same time, that cannot you cannot say that digital will work its own like an autopilot, and the person who is the production in charge will sit at home. So we have not reached to that level. We have few examples. For example, yes, from a plant perspective, from manufacturing perspective, we get a good analytical trend. I can sit at any location and say that my shift, on that shift, what production has been achieved, and an individual productivity has been improved or not. That is the level of digitization what we can take as a input. But due to XYZ reason, if the shift has not run, that doesn't mean that there was manpower failure or issue with something else. But yes, that is one of the input what we can gauge for taking decisions in terms of people, in terms of production, in terms of productivity. That is one of the parameter. But at the same time, we have two categories of blue collared, so-called blue collared. These terms doesn't occur very frequently in our mouth because we don't use it. One is freshers, again, young generation as well as old generation. Initially, we felt that the leave application, they used to fill the leave application, go to the manager, approve, get it approved, they come and submit it into the IR team, they okays it, and then they get the leave. Today, we have asked them to put it into the mobile, and we have trained them how to use it. It was a great buying. In fact, we didn't feel that we should stop that paper process, but now we have completely stopped. It's almost 1.5, 2 years now. That paper process has vanished like anything. It is comfort. The leave, they can put it, it goes to the manager. If they want to reject it, they can reject it. Otherwise, it is auto approved. So that kind of digital, it really helps. It's a win-win situation for the manager as well as to the employee. There are safety cures where if there are different language people from various diverse location, it is difficult to communicate. If I stand and talk about safety, I will talk in English or I will talk in Hindi. At local language, people will not able to understand. So now we have put a safety kiosk. That safety kiosk give all the three languages, so people can enter, they understand, because end of the day they have to do the ground duty, they are in shop floor, and giving from the opposite side will not make or will not solve the purpose. The purpose is they need to clear the written test which is in the kiosk. That means there were alert, they have gone through each slide, they have understood each process before entering into the plant. So that is the again, it is a win-win situation from digitization mechanism. There are various other tools like LinkedIn Learning, various programs which we care. We undergo also there is an access to a mental health and community service through online platform. So we brand it as We Care. That is available for all employees, where they can discuss individual cases with their own doctors. So we already have hospital, we already have doctors, but in that community, the person won't be comfortable to talking to the doctor. We have given another platform where they can talk to a doctor who are not known to them, and they can get best benefit out of them. And these facilities, in fact, we started post COVID, because during COVID these people were home arrest, and at that time these facilities were needed. So and this is working it out. So these are various mechanisms where both digital as well as human intervention was totally at par while delivering the business.
True. I think, Mr. Manoj, as you said, it sort of has to go hand in hand. While automation and digitalization is knocking at our doors, adoption is important, but at the same time, keeping in mind the nuances that come in, be it as simple as the languages, be it as simple as creating efficient systems for these people to increase adoption, awareness, understanding first, sort of goes in a long way. But I feel that that digitalization can sort of bring all of this together, so we can track, resolve queries faster, and in turn improve our efficiency as we go along.
Right.
Also, just to touch upon what you just mentioned at the end about a platform where they can connect to any doctors, psychologists, etc. For a lot of our clients, we have the psychologists available on the same shop floor. If they want to, they're just one cabin away. If they want to have a talk, they can come there. In fact, at times our psychologists do a work on the same floor as well, so the employees are feel well connected. They feel that they can approach them at any given point of time. So seeking help at the right time can go a long way. In fact, with a very high and strenuous industry such as the blue collar keep working with, this I feel is very, very important. I think on this note, I have concluded all the questions that I had. Thank you so much for answering that. Before we move into the Q&A, I sort of wanted to give the little surprise to everyone, to the audience that we have here. So we have an emotional wellness report for the current state of corporates. What we've done is we've taken different data points across industries, analyzed, dissected different industries on multiple levels as to stress levels, the support that is provided, the kind of issues that people face at the ground level. And this is purely by a huge survey that was done by our team. And this will actually help you for your organization as to how you can improve it, how you can understand what your people are going through on a day-to-day basis. I think we can put the link in the chat, team, for the audience to download this at their end, and sort of a token from our end to attend the webinar and learn from the experts here. Okay, so now we will move into the Q&A. I think the audience can put in the questions in the chat. I see a bunch of questions coming in. Okay, so the first is how do you address the challenges of safety that women feel at the workforce? I think now, with the given time and age that we are in, a lot of women are a part of these organizations and play a very, very strong part. In fact, one of our clients, 70% of their workforce is constituted of women. So would any of you all like to share?
See, I would like to add something to it. And women's safety is not just about the physical safety. It's about the I every time say it's about emotional safety, psychological safety, and of course the environmental safety. We can't talk about physical safety in isolation, because I feel, as per my experience, that uh, posh itself, has contributed positively in making women feel safe at workplace, and it is a direct contributor for physical safety also. When you're working in a manufacturing unit on a conveyor belt for so many hours, and if the person standing next to you is not making you feel comfortable, or if there is anything wrong is happening, you can't work in a physically safe environment also, there is a high probability of having an injury. So there are various aspects. Physical safety, of course, as others are also being given the guidelines of various processes involved in the manufacturing unit and how to do these processes safely. One, and other safety guidelines, it is as equal for women as for men. Another two things which we are doing in our organization is one, POSH, of course, that is a reactive approach. If you are having any problem in the organization, and you can, share your experience anytime. The other thing is a very proactive initiative which we are starting is Women's Safety Ambassadorship Program, where we work with women resource groups.
Maybe Simran, I'm not sure if you are able to hear Dr. Parul clearly. At least
Am
I
I
am
not
missing
audible?
for your information.
I am able to hear her clearly. Is Aarti
Yes.
able to?
Manoj, are you okay in terms of the
Yeah,
voice?
yeah, 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 yeah. We are clear.
Okay, fine. Continue. Sorry.
Okay. So we already, of course, POSH was a requirement, and it is there in all the industries as a very important mandate. In addition to that, we have started another program, which is Women Safety Ambassadorship Program, where we make women for women. It is the basic thing is that. So we work with different women resource groups inside the organization, and of course beyond the organization as well. So coming back to your question, so this is how we are ensuring not just the physical safety but psychological, emotional safety as well, because it is directly linked to physical safety. So these are the two things. One is the proactive initiative, and another is the reactive initiative, which my organization is following.
So, Dr.
Simran,
Parul,
I'm sorry.
yes, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah, to add on to Parul, yes, POSH policy has made people to think on how women's safety or other safeties are being taken care. But at Tata Chemicals, what we see, we are the only soda ash manufacturing company which run all the three shifts with women. In fact, my hiring in graduate engineer trainee is more than 50% for women employees. Since we are manufacturing unit, the unit is a male dominating. So since last 5 years, we are keeping a track on increasing women population at the plant level. So at various domain, might be a chemical, mechanical, electrical, or instrumentation. So before getting to the safety, before ensuring we run the three shift, it was difficult for us to get the approval from government authority. But we made it by pushing them hard on getting the approvals. Yes, basic safety, especially the security, female security guard to accompany them, their transit on a cab, all these are being taken care of. But most importantly, today, women are safe probably if the working environment or the organization culture is motivating that to happen. If the culture is that, if your organization culture is to ensure that no gender biasness, zero tolerance policy on such things, uh, you don't need any safety precautions. Today, as a HR head, women employees are coming and saying, सर आप वो सेफ्टी सिक्योरिटी गार्ड को मेरे पीछे से हटा दो, आप उसको साइड में कहीं बिठा दो. They are coming behind our plant premises. I need to concentrate more on her rather than my job. We are safe in this plant. So these are few jokes in terms of the culture. So the most important parameter, my suggestion and my advice would be to ensure that plant culture is robust. The consequences for any deviation should be very hard. If you give certain examples, the
Manoj, you're on mute. Manoj, you're on mute.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Automatically the organization culture will be set. So that is very important parameter. Otherwise, yes, government authority, they have a very huge checklist for women's safety, which any company has to. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for stating that. I think we have just 5 more minutes left. We have time for one question, and we'll try to keep it a little short. Um, with, I think we can take this one. When production demand increase, it can have an adverse impact on employee motivation and well-being. How do you manage such situations? I think, Mr. Praveen, would you like to answer this? Just a few sentences on how you take this would be very helpful.
No, Simran. I think uh, the demand will always be on the upside. We are living in a different world. Each year you want to increase your business plan, and so maybe uh, I think we have come a very far way in terms of understanding that this is something which is going to be the way of life. The only thing we can do is there are a lot of programs available. If that can help to the set of employees, I think we should continue to run those programs. More importantly, to my mind, you will have to start appreciating and embrace the importance of technology and innovation that can help you to make things better in terms of productivity, rather than more labor intensive kind of working. That can
True.
help you a lot. But otherwise, as far as डिमांड इज कंसर्न, वो तो आगे बढ़ती रहेगी और उसमें कोई सेकंड थॉट नहीं है. And this is for all set of employee, irrespective of whatever section we are talking about. And just to add one half line, in fact, on the previous question of women, I think still the ratio is very less. Let's accept it. I think first number one point is we need to increase the participation and number. Rest of the thing will come at a secondary stage कि हम कैसे चीजों को better करें. But now the number is very negligible, very meager. We need to increase that transformationally, and for that we will have to take a lot of steps.
Got it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Praveen, for summarizing it in such a short way, yet articulating it beautifully. I think adoption of tech will go a long way in making our work easier and at the same time increasing efficiency. And definitely, women in workforce in manufacturing is something that is getting added, but we still have a long road to cover. So, on this note, I think we've covered all of the questions that we had and some of the questions that the audience had. In case there is anything, you can please drop us an email at your dose, and we'll be very happy to assist you with the answers for those questions. Now, I'd like to thank all of the panelists here for joining in, and the pointers that you've brought in will actually bring in tremendous impact right from the employee's journey, which starts at the organization, all the way to taking them and climbing the ladder as we keep progressing. Definitely, adoption of technology, creating a safe space through different channels goes a long way. And I think leadership drives that. And this is what leads to successful organizations with very few attrition rates, bare minimum attrition rates, a very well connected workforce, and much more efficient workforce, because I think happier workspaces create and lead to productive workspaces. So I think great job on all of that, and thank you so much for coming and giving us your words of wisdom. It was a pleasure hosting you for the event. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. Thank you, Simran.
Thank you. Thanks, Simran.
Thank you, Manish.
Thanks, Dr.
Thank you,
Parul.
Praveen.
Thanks, Manoj.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Praveen. Thank you, Dr. Parul. Thank you, Simran.
Thank you.
Bye.